Hello everyone, my name is Vishal. Currently I am studying in second year of Keshav Memorial Institute of Technology. This is my project which is Advanced Fake News Detection. This is building a web application so that client can understand whether a given input is a fake or real news. And we are even mitigating the impact of spread of fake news by auto-populating the original news to the one who is spreading the fake news. We are using machine learning algorithm to identify whether a news as a fake or else a original news. First, to build a machine learning algorithm, we need to create a dataset. Dataset is built through two processes. One is by taking the Kaggle datasets which are already pre-built, and one is creating a dataset through use of web scraping. Web scraping we can use through Scrapy, Beautiful Soap. In our case, we are using Beautiful Soap. First, we need to check a URL and we are taking factcheck.org for the original news, and defrag is something which is consisting of all the fake news. So these are the websites you can go through. This is defrag which is consisting of all the fake news, and this is factchecker.in which is consisting the Indian news. Factcheck.org, this is something related to outside the Indian news. Now we are taking the URL and web scraping it by changing the pages. We are using the HTML parser to web scrape the data. First we are converting the data set into data frame, and afterwards we are converting to data set. Now we get the data set in the following way, where we have both fake web and at the same time we even have true web. This is consisting of a label where 1 is the true news and 0 is the false news. In the following way we classify a true or else a fake news. Now after giving the both true and fake, we had created a dataset using web scraping. Now the main motive of the project is to first identify whether a given sentence is a statement or else a news. For that we use text blob. Text blob is identifying the word and sentence subjectivity and polarity. Subjectivity is something how objective or else how subjective is the sentence. More the subjectivity, more is the it is close to the news, and if it is having less subjectivity, then it may be a statement. So you need to fix a threshold value. In my case, I am fixing threshold value as 0.3 for the subjectivity and polarity as 0.05. Polarity is something which is identifying the frequency of word and how predominant is it for the particular sentence. So if it is greater than 0.3 and greater than 0.05, then we are returning it as news, and later we are returning it as statement if condition is getting false. Now after returning a statement, now we are just not judging it as news. First we are again sending it to regular expression function, where we are just seeing few keywords which are like breaking news reports. If it is matching with am is like there are few stop words. If it is matching with that, then we are giving it as a statement. If it is not matching, then we are giving it as news. So we are going with two checks. One is text block and one is classifying the sentence through regular expression. In the following way we are identifying whether it is a news or else a statement. If it is a statement, then at the same point we would give it is a irrelevant news or else it is a misleading thing. If it is a news, then we would go for further checks. To identify whether it is a true or else false, then we would go with the machine learning algorithm. Here we are using three models, which is logistic regression, decision tree and random forest classifier. First we are reading the CSV files which is both fake and true, and we are concatenating it, and after concatenating it we are using the frac is equal to 1 and we are randomizing the data set. After randomizing the data set, we are dropping all the null values as they are float values and doesn't add any significant meaning to the data set. So we are removing all the null values. After removing the null values, we are having the data frame in the following way. After seeing it from the NLTK library, we are downloading all the stopwords which doesn't add any significant meaning. As a programmer, the main motive of the programmer is to have better time complexity and better space complexity. When user gives a large input, to pre-process it in a quicker time, we would remove all the stopwords, and at the same time we would even remove the suffix and prefix part using post-stemmer, and these are the stopwords which are present in the English which doesn't add any significant meaning to our sentence which is given by the user. Now after using the post-stemmer, we are applying it to the data frame. Now word cloud is something which identifies how significant is a word to a particular data set. Now Trump is something which is present more in our data set, so it is in a larger size. And ignore, around, these are something which have less significance, so they are in less size. In this way we will understand the with the help of word cloud. After understanding, we would take content as the input and label as the output. Label is here 0 and 1, so we are using logistic regression, decision tree and random forest classifier. But decision tree has some issue where we have overfitting condition, where we have training data has large accuracy and testing data has less accuracy. So we would go with random forest classifier. We would identify the score of all logistic regression, decision tree and random forest classifier. And even we would get the classification report, which gives all the information about precision recall. In the following way, we would get the all the classification report of all the three algorithms we are using. Later we would say n is equal to 0 as a fake and n is equal to 1 as not fake. This is something a programmer can understand. Like, I'm sending it into manual testing, but this is something a programmer can understand. But client side, we should have some front-end framework. So to make use of front-end framework, we are using Streamlit. First, before using Streamlit, I am saving all the model whichever present in the solution into a particular pickle file. Pickle file is something which saves all the model and we can use it anywhere. It makes our work easier, and at the same time we are using TF-IDF vectorizer. You can even use word2vec. Word2vec is something which can do sentiment and analysis, and at the same time here we are using TF-IDF vectorizer, which identifies how a word is important to our sentence and which word has less significance. After dumping the pickle file, later when we use the Streamlit, our front end part, we would dump there and load there for our usage of the machine learning model. Now in the following way, we would write into an app.py. We would use all the import necessary libraries, Streamlit, all those things are important, and even stopwords and TF-IDF vectorizer. Now we are loading the pickle file, whatever we had dumped in the solution. First we are writing all the front-end framework part. In the following way, we would get st.write, which is seen our front-end part where client can see it. Local tunnel, first we are creating a local tunnel which is just for temporary deployment, so we are using ngrok. To make an ngrok, you just open the ngrok and make the setup. In the following way, you would see the dashboard and you would even get the authentication token, and which is given only one time. After creating the authentication token, you create a local tunnel, and 8501 is the port number where we have it as a Streamlit port and ngrok, and at the same time for Flask we have 5000. In the following way, every language have some other port. So for this we have 8501. In the following way, you would get the link. Now this link is the app. This way we would see our app. Now just you can give any news, like whatever the news you have, you can give it. Now I would take an example of New York Times. You can even cross check in the internet. I would give it to my app. I would send this all data into my app and I will check whether it is a fake news or real news, and I would get the output as real news because it is a real news, and you can cross check it. And regarding the Christmas, you can even check in the internet whatever the data you have. Now I would give this as input and I'll apply. Now you would see this as a fake news. So in the following way, our fake news detector will help. And now even to make another check, we are using embedding, OpenAI embedding, where we will understand the similarity between the heading and even the content between it, because sometimes we would even see clickbait where the heading is different and inside the information is different. So to avoid this clickbait, we are using this embedding where we are creating dot product between the heading and context which is present inside it. If it is increasing the threshold value, then we are considering it as a true news. If it is less than the threshold value, then we are considering it as a fake news. Now this is the just basic version of my project. In the further videos, you would see even auto populating it and even further checks and further usage of REST API, which is taking from the social media all the fake and real news. At the same time, we would even do further web scraping through Selenium and other things, which is dynamic web scraping, and even we are auto populating the whatever the true news we have to the one who is spreading the fake news. Thank you.